COVID in the past week, including today. So with that, I want to welcome the 46th President of the United States, President Joe Biden. So there's a lot to get to tonight, and we got a lot of great questions from our audience. We want to get into the details of what you're calling the Build Back Better plan. Before we get into that, though, I just want to know, there's been a lot of negotiating going on behind the scenes, as I'm sure you are very involved with. Are you close to a done deal?
No problem. It's all done. No, look, Anderson, we've been, I've probably spent, well over 100 hours. This is a big deal. We have two plans. One is the infrastructure plans, roads, highway, bridges, buses, trains, et cetera. And the other one is what I call the care economy. Has a lot of money in there for environmental remediation, as well as care economy. For example, we want to get the economy moving, but millions of women can't go to work because they don't have any child care, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of pieces in there. There's a lot that people don't understand. And by the way, all of it's paid for. Every single penny. It's not going to raise one single cent.
We're going to get into a lot of those details. Just though, are you close to a deal?
I think so. Look, I was a senator for 370 years, and I was relatively good at putting together deals.
Is this the toughest deal you've worked on?
No. I think banning assault weapons is the toughest deal I worked on, and succeeded.
You're flying to Europe, I think, in 8 days.
Yes.
Do you think you'll have a deal by the time you get on Air Force One in 8 days?
It's like my asking you, are you sure your next show is going to be a success?
Yes.
Well, you're more confident than I am. Look, it's all about compromise. Compromise has become a dirty word, but it's bipartisanship and compromise still has to be possible. When I ran for the president, I said I'm running for 3 reasons. 1, to restore the soul and decency in the country. 2, to build the middle class and the working class so we built from the middle out. And 3, to actually unite the country. And everybody's been saying, well, that's crazy. You can't do it. If we can't eventually unite this country, we're in deep trouble.
Bottom line, do you think you will get a deal?
I do think I'll get a deal.
All right. Let's go to the audience. This is Nicholas Vaught. He's the coordinator of the Applied Liberal Studies program at Morgan State University. He's a Democrat. Nicholas?
Morgan State.
All
right, man. Good. I was poking there. Yeah.
So my wife and I have 2 young boys, Arthur and Teddy. However, the cost of childcare is nearly double our mortgage. We want to have more children. But even though we earn a good salary now, childcare is so expensive. So how will this new infrastructure plan help middle-class families pay for childcare?
Well, let me ask you, how old are your kids?
3.5 and 6 months old.
God love you. Well, look, there's 2 pieces. There's the child care, having someone take care of your child while you are working, while you and your wife are working. Under this proposal I have, no one will have to pay unless you're making more than individually. You're each making over $300,000, $150,000 a piece.
For educators.
Oh, by the way, I'm married to one, Dr. Biden, right here. So you will not have to pay more than 7% of your income for child care. 7%. And the way we do that is we provide for the ability to have child care centers funded. The money won't even go to you. You'll figure income, you get 7% with the total cost. But there's another piece here. You now are qualified to be able to have a child tax credit. It used to be that if you had enough money to pay significant taxes, you could write off $2,000 for every child you had and reduce from your taxes. But if you were making $60,000 a year, you didn't have that much to write off. You didn't get anything. Well, I call this a tax break for middle-class people. If you're making in the $150,000 range right now, you're in a situation where you can get, if you have a child under 7, $350. If you have a child over 7, between 7 and 17, you can get $300, and you get a direct payment. The IRS sends you money.
Joe Manchin wants a work requirement with your enhanced tax credit for kids. Is that something you would support?
No. Here's the deal. All these people are working anyway. And by the way, you know, why should somebody who is not working and has, has a $1 million trust fund, why should they get the benefit and someone making 60 grand and not working but staying home, why should they not get anything? I don't get that.
You're also proposing, for the first time ever, federal paid parental leave. And
yes, well, that's a different issue. Yeah,
right, a different issue. Right. Yeah. This is in your proposal. How much time off would parents actually get under your proposal? Because at one point you talked about 12 weeks. Now there's reports it's down to maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is down to 4 weeks. And the reason it's down to 4 weeks, they can't get 12 weeks. And but look, here's the deal, guys. How many people do you know? Not a joke, or maybe yourself, have had a circumstance where you are working like a devil. You're making $7 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, and you have a child that's sick at home, or you have a mother or father, husband and wife, son or daughter, and you need to stay home to help them. We're one of the few industrial countries in the world that does not have paid leave. So that when you stay home to help that person, to take care of that person, you're still getting your pay. And it does not hurt the business at all. The business isn't paying for it. The federal government is paying for it. It's a little bit like, as I said, a tax cut for people who are not able to otherwise take care of their families. And look, I'm looking out here, and a lot of you are part of that sandwich generation. You have young kids, and you have aging parents. And one of the things all the polling data shows, Anderson, is people are more concerned about taking care of the elderly because they don't know what to do than they are even their children.
I want to talk about this. I want you to meet Vanessa Antrim from Bowie, Maryland. She's retired. She's a caregiver for her elderly parents.
God love you.
She's a Democrat. Vanessa, your question.
Yes, Mr. President. My parents have been married for 73 years, and both are dealing... Yes. Both of them are dealing with dementia. My father, who is a veteran, is completely bedridden, and my mom is experiencing issues with walking. I have found the process for me to provide care for them in my home very hard. They have worked all their life only for me to experience a lot of red tape to provide supports in a loving home environment. What is being done to support the elderly, especially for a middle-class family like mine?
Well, first of all, if my mom were here, I'd say you're a good daughter, number one.
Thank you.
Number two, I was in a situation like you, where I was making more money. I was making $42,000 a year as a senator at the time, although I was listed the poorest man in the Senate for 36 years, but I still made more money than most people because Senate salaries kept going up. What happened was my dad got sick, and he was in hospice, so Jill and I took my dad home. We took care of him in our house. But we were lucky because we had the ability to have, I have a sister who's an angel and a brother who's a wonderful guy, and we all took turns in our house taking care of them. But here's the deal. Right now, under Medicaid, there are 860,000, I think it's 860, don't hold me the exact number, it's over 800,000, who qualify for home health care aid for their parents. But there's no money there. There's no money there. So what we do is we provide the funding for Medicaid to allow you to be able to keep, if your parents had their home, keeping them in their home if you want it, or get help in your home with home care from professionals helping you take care of them. Helping you take care of them. And in many cases where you're not taking care of them in your own home, but they're staying in their home, you're going to be able to have the ability to have someone come in and make their meals for them. They don't have to be there 24/7. So there's a lot of things we're doing. In addition to the process, we're going to be able to train up those home care workers who are usually minority women, women of color, as well as immigrants. And they have the capacity to learn more as they go along to move to the point where they can become practical nurses and things like that. So it makes a lot of sense, and it's cheaper than it is to not do it.
One of the other things that Democrats are looking to do is to expand Medicare to include dental, vision, and hearing as well.